Okay, it's a quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. So for today's video, the death of the high streets, and this is basically what nobody's telling you. So we're all told that online shopping basically killed the high street. I think there's a darker truth though. I believe that the truth is that it's been rigged to fail. Think about it. You've got massive store closures. I believe that it was a Centre for Retail Research that showed that in 2024 alone, 11,500 stores shut their doors on the UK public. So in 2025 already, store closures are actually up 8% compared to the same time last year. So that's pretty foreboding in terms of what this means for the retail market in the UK. There's obviously the business rates scandal. Small independent shops are essentially just being crushed by insane property taxes, crazy rents, greedy councils. And in fact, even empty units are still racking up bills, notwithstanding charges on utilities. Chains get loopholes and discounts and they get rent breaks, but small independents don't get such luxuries, or if they do, they're few and far between. There's obviously things like private equity damage. So many beloved brands that have been in the UK for years, things like Debenhams, Toys R Us, Wilko, to name a few, they've been bought out by private equity firms, obviously loaded with debt and then stripped bare right before they collapse. You've got landlords, obviously, that are squeezing shops. Some landlords can demand 6 to 12 months rent up front for tiny little units, and tiny little businesses simply can't afford to be business owners under those conditions. All of this really comes together to produce social decay. And I'm sure that we've all seen this. I know that I have in my local area. In fact, I did a drive-through video. It was about 2 months back. I did a gig in Torquay, drove through Torquay main high street, and probably 1 in 3, 1 in 4 shops are boarded up, or they've got white painted windows. You've got the influx of the usual vape stations and mobile phone repairs and nail bars and all the other money laundering ops that are going on. But the truth is that the empty high streets correlate with higher crime rates. And it was actually a Home Office study last year that showed this correlation. You've got things like the isolation. There are fewer places to gather. This obviously has an impact on mental health. Online sort of purchasing, online buying, it isn't the only killer. Yes, Amazon's massive, and yes, it has hit retail. That's undeniable. But there's also other things to consider. You've got to consider mismanagement, policy, greed. All of these things have accelerated the death of the high street. So my opinion on this is, and this is just my opinion, is that we didn't lose the high street to technology. Basically, we've lost it to bad policy and greed. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? What's the high street like in the area where you live? Is it flourishing? Is your high street full of bountiful independent stores that are vending their wares to an adoring public? Or, like myself with my local high street, is it just literally filled with whitewashed shops, probably going to be turned into HMOs? And then obviously all of the main shopping has been moved onto industrial estates that sit on the outskirts of your town. And this is something that I think more and more UK towns and villages are finding, is that as their high street dies, the shops and the shopping tend to move outwards. They move onto industrial parks or business parks and industrial estates where perhaps the rents are a little bit more affordable than having what's considered a prime location storefront. The kickback of that is that obviously these out of town units, it's really only the bigger end of the SME market that can probably afford them. And so eventually the high street dies. But anyway, drop your thoughts in the comments. Really keen to find out what the opinion on this is. if it's just my area, if your area suffers this too, and also how it's impacted your ability to make sensible choices when it comes to things like shopping and where you spend your money and how you spend your money. Does it make you less inclined to visit your local town, to pay very often exorbitant council parking fees, to visit a high street that's lackluster in comparison to what you've got on the outskirts in the big industrial estates? Let me know. YouTube's going to put another video there. Obviously, check it out if you want, and if you don't, then don't. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz, and another video tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.